I was going to ask just some of the usual off-season, what have you guys been massaging on the motorcycle kind of questions. And then I got that email at the end of the day yesterday, which seemed like kind of a bombshell. I didn't know it was coming. Maybe you all did. That there's going to be no backups for national records. How do you feel about that?
No backups for national records. You know,
and this class, your class has a milestone record coming up.
Yeah.
And
you know, it's kind of interesting. I heard about it just the other day, pretty much only a few days before the media blast went out, and I don't know. It's kind of mixed emotions on that, because as long as I can ever remember, you always had to back it up.
Yeah,
it's that. I want to call it the fluke factor. You know, it's like, did it really happen or didn't it? I do have 100% trust in the timing system. I don't think you really need to question that. But I do question runs every once in a while. Everybody does. You got to look at them and say, well, is that really, you know, when you start looking at these incremental numbers and all that, does it really jive? So I do believe in that 1% backup, or at least in that same ballpark. I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of it, but I would definitely say I think you should have some type of backup for it, whether it's a higher percentage or whatever it is. So NHRA felt they didn't need anything, and I guess if you do it, you do it. Technically, I went 200, you know, a couple of years ago in Valdosta.
Right.
I went to the racetrack, I went 199.26, you know, and is that possible? Who's the first to go 200? How does it happen? You know, that's a huge milestone that our class is looking to break. Hopefully we're the ones to do it. I don't know. There's a lot of great motorcycles. When you look at the class in whole, there's probably, I'd say, 8 or 9 bikes that probably can do it. And I wouldn't be shocked to see it happen this year. But again, I still don't think we're there horsepower-wise. I think you still got to have perfect conditions, everything, before you start seeing 200 pop off on a regular basis.
I got to figure if it's your bike that puts the number on the scoreboard, you're going to love first. You're going to love the new rule. But if it's anybody else's, you're going to be like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, but, you know, hey, I support anybody in the class if they run well. You know, hopefully it's one of our customers if it's not us. You know, you never know. But I do think there should be some type of percentage deal in that.
How many customers now on the Suzuki side of things?
Our Suzuki customers, I'd say we have probably somewhere in a number of about 25 to 28 customers worldwide. We have a lot of customers overseas, Europe, Australia, that make up a good deal of what we do here. But I'd say there's probably 15 to 18 steady customers in the U.S. and heck, probably 10 or 12 of them are full-time guys on the circuit. So that's going to be the interesting thing this year in Mellow Yellow Drag Racing, is going to see how to class. You know, when we went to Vegas and Pomona and you closed out the year, you had record number of bikes basically. You know, we had a potential for probably 34 bikes to show up in Vegas, and NHRA limited it to 32, and I worked with them to get a little bit of an increase there, and luckily enough we got just about everybody in. But I do think we're going to see somewhere in that number of 24 to 26 bikes more on a regular basis.
You've seen some of the big numbers, of course, at IDBL is drawing competition-wise, and some of the other sanctions. Is that you guys seeing that in the business back at the shop for parts for the all motorcycle races?
Actually, for us, we're working on a lot of Pro Mod stuff this winter. I've been doing a lot. There's some rule changes there in the Pro Mod class. Now they can run bigger. The big problem has been the crankshaft side for a lot of guys. Is you know, we've got some reliability there for them, but the big problem is the crankshaft, because now in the Suzuki stuff in the NHRA we can be 1850. So we've developed the products to get to 1850. Pro Mods have only been allowed to go to 1807 and smaller. So you have some of our stuff trickling into Pro Mod. So the next progression is all these sanctioning bodies now going to an 1850 for a Pro Mod. So, which is good, helps out for business and helps out for development. But we definitely, we're into it. Not just, yes, we are an NHRA team, but we follow everything. I mean, street bike stuff, you know, pro street, whatever it is, I mean, we're dabbling in it, and it's fun to be involved in. You know, I've started in a grassroots level, and to go back to it and help all those guys that are trying to come up, I think it's just a natural progression.
I'm spending the winter doing some transferring some of my old video onto the computer, so expect to see some Eddie Krawiec on the Yamaha.
Oh, that would be perfect. The R6 stuff, I love it. You know, I'm good friends with the guys at Yamaha, and I still talk to them to this day. And yeah, that's one of the things I've always joked about. I loved it. You know, my sport bike days, as I call it. You know, my sportsman stuff is I believe what made me who I am now. And
For sure.
I think everybody deserves to go through that. You know, before you get to that pro level. Not that you got to earn your keep, but I think it gives you an appreciation for where you were and where you are. Honestly, I'd love to go back and continue to race, but the time on my end, I just don't have. So it's definitely an awesome deal.
We talked about your car. Tell me a little bit about your car, and when do you get to go out with that?
Well, I did. I built a drag radial car. I have an X275 car that I go and play with, a 2000 Camaro. It's fun. It goes 460s in the quarter. I mean 460s in the eighth, and it'll go probably 7.0s, 690s in the quarter, and it's fun. It's my, sounds kind of stupid, but it's my release from drag racing, from my daily job.
Sure.
Something completely different. You know, you get in this car with a roll cage around you and you're going 6 seconds and you actually don't feel comfortable. I feel more comfortable getting on my motorcycle.
Right.
No roll cage, no nothing, just let
You don't
it.
have to figure out how to get out of it if it bursts into flames.
yeah, but it's fun. It's my release, and I try to go to the track here at Wednesday nights and go run around the country here and there on select weekends. But it's my enjoyment. It's my fun, and it's not motorcycles.
And you'll be going to Valdosta, and
Yeah, I'm going to go down to Valdosta in late February to what they call Duck's big lights out race. So I'm gonna go there and play around some.
I look forward to hearing how it goes.
Thanks, man.
All right, man. Good talking to you. Have a
Thank you.
great year.